Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and we are at the final session of the World Cashew Conference 2023 in Dubai. And this final session, we will deliberate on the raw cashew nut crop review and outlook for 2023. Our moderator for this session is Mr. Rajiv Kumar from Radson. He's already seated right up here in the front. Some of our panelists are also here in the front to be able to view the video messages and presentations, and then they shall take up their places on the stage. On the panel today, we have the President of Cashew Nut Association of Cambodia, Mr. Silot Uon. We have with us the President SIAP, Mr. SANFO Ibrahim, Mr. Mohamed Diaoune of PCA Diaoune Ferris, we have Anita Kontuo of Ascraft International. The ones who are not here shall join us organically as they walk into the hall. We have with us online live Mr. Adiyeme Murtada Edinji, the Chairman of Starlink Global. We would like to start with a video message by Dr. Venkatesh Hubbali, the Director of Directorate of Cashew Nut and Cocoa Development, Government of India. We shall simultaneously follow this up with a video message from Mr. John Rao, Director, Bijagwas Commercials, SARL. So ladies and gentlemen, have a great session ahead. All eyes on the screen as we start with Dr. Venkatesh Hubbali's address.
Namaskar and good morning to all the delegates of this World Cashew Conference. It is my great pleasure to present to you before Indian Cashew Scenario. She is the production and trade scenario of cashew since last 3 years, around 0.7 million metric ton. It was mainly because of climatic variation, unseasonal rainfall, as well as incidence of pest and diseases to a small extent. So the requirement of industries is nearly about 1.6 million metric ton. So that is why India is importing a lot of grams from East and West African countries to meet the requirement for export as well as domestic consumption. Considering the average price of raw cashew during last year, it was about $1.08 per kg. Coming to cashew growth scenario of current season, even though bearing was delayed by 10 to 15 days, but there is a positive trend in the West Coast and East Coast region. You may be well aware of some of the state names: Goa, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Kerala, where harvesting has already begun, and we are expecting growth rate of 6% over last year. And also we are bringing additional area of 0.025 million hectares and a new planting program every year using hybrid varieties. And also we are giving a lot of thrust for removal of senile cashew plantation and replanting with hybrid varieties. As far as the pest and disease is concerned, in the field there is no outbreak of pest and disease. Coming to Indian cashew states, there are about 19 states, and the total area is about 1.165 million hectares, and the production is about 7.75 million metric tons. The productivity is 60 kg per hectare. Considering the hiding varieties released by research organization, as well as production technology available, the farmers who are cultivating cashew intensively, they are getting only about 3 tons per hectare at the age of year. Coming to challenges in post-harvest management, definitely is one area, but we the director and the ministry taking a lot of initiatives, creating awareness, conducting regular training program, as well as by using mass media regarding this post-harvest management of this runners. What we expect from buyers, Indian cashew farmers, from the industry or the buyers? It is well understood. Motivation of farmers and cultivators depends on market and diversify. Everyone in the farmer may see their trying to reduce under realization. Yes, sir. Asian cost insurance is about $1.1 per kg. And the India Indian farmers expecting nearly $1.6 per kg and it is highly justified. If you go to the Indian market, if you buy about 1 kg cashew kernel with a grain of 220, you have to pay at least $80. So import is a cashew. It gives employment opportunities, nearly 1.5 million people. There's development both in the processing sector, as well as farming sector, and marketing, as well as allied activities, and livelihood for more than responsible farmers. This constitutes nearly about 0.5 million numbers and provides raw material for more than 4,000 processing industry, and all in well, that has become an essential item of each and every household that is stand first in consumption and powered by state. Coming to clean plant program, Minister Targets and Farmers have taken a lot of initiatives in providing funds for the clean plant program. The first step is to produce quality planting material and providing a lot of funds for the private as well as public sector undertaking to produce quality planting material of practical varieties and further distribution to the farming community. Establishment organic plantation. Now farmers are realizing they are getting a better price to their produce, especially organic produce. So many farmers now they are interested, enthusiastic to cultivate 100% organic plantation in order to get a better return for unit area. This is all about the cancer scenario, and thanks to Silot Uon, Director CEO of PNL Global Energy Climate Limited, for providing me an opportunity to speak before you all. Thank you, and all.
So, all right, as we conclude this, we have a next video message from the director, Bijagas Commercials SARL, Mr. John Rao.
Hello, everybody. Greetings from Guinea-Bissau. I trust you've had a fruitful 2 days at the conference. Now you're getting ready for the final sessions and to go back. And just before you leave, we thought we can give you some perspectives from Africa. So here I go with the perspective from Guinea-Bissau. To take a look back at the year that was, there were always two truisms that used to be true about Guinea-Bissau. The first one was that the business is never standardized in Guinea-Bissau and every year throws up new challenges. The second truism was the stock never gets carried over to the next year. Well, this year has been a different year. Well, the last season was a different season, and stock did get carried over. We still have quite a bit of stock lying in Guinea-Bissau, which is being shipped out slowly. To quickly run through the numbers, to date, approximately 184,000 tons of cargo has been shipped from the port of Bissau. We estimate a further 40,000 tons has been carried across the border to Senegal and to Guinea-Conakry. Apart from these quantities, there is about 50,000 tons still left in Guinea-Bissau, maybe about 35,000 tons in warehouses in Bissau, and another 15,000 tons in the bush that remains unsold. So we can say the total crop size in Guinea-Bissau is about 180,000 tons in 2022. A word about the carried over stocks. It's not a big matter of concern because 30,000 tons is with just one party, one exporter, who plans to export the goods over the next few weeks. And what is remaining is not a large quantity. So we don't expect a big problem of mixing between old stock and new stock in Guinea-Bissau in the coming season. So how did the Bissau exporters end up in such a precarious situation? Two reasons as shown on the slide. Season 2022 actually started off on an optimistic note, with the FOB prices starting at 1,200, rising up slowly, 1,300 and so on. Still complaints from the processors that these prices were unworkable were not really given a lot of attention. Because these very same processors, especially from India, were the people pushing up the prices in Guinea-Bissau. Then finally disaster struck. Vietnamese buyers almost completely withdrew from the market, causing a number of shippers to divert their cargoes destined for Vietnam to India. Major ports like Tuticorin were awash with cargo, whereas runs rose dramatically in Tuticorin. Desperate cashew traders searching for storage space, and the situation in Mangalore, I would say, was even more dire. Quite simply, too many goods was chasing too few buyers. It was a classic situation, and inevitably, prices had to fall, and they started falling. You can take a look at the chart on your screen. The FOB contract prices for Bissau started around $1,200, went up to $1,300, and then started falling again. You will notice that this graph stops in August, and the reason why I put the cutoff as August is that it was too depressing for us in Guinea-Bissau to go beyond August, because prices continued falling after that. So prices did go lower than what the graph is showing you, but I put the cutoff as August. Apart from the above situation in India, exporters in the CFR zone were dealt a second blow, and that is a swinging exchange rate between the euro and the dollar. This was the last crop in the northern season, the northern cycle, so to say, and our season starts really in April or May. The euro kept weakening during the first part of the season, and this made ASEAN purchase more costly for us. And in the second half of the season, when the bulk of our payments started coming in, the euro started strengthening. And this led to a further loss of about 5%, we estimate, for exporters. So exporters, in effect, were dealt a double whammy, those of us in the CFR zone. Before we move to season 2023, I'd like to make one last point about season 22, and that is a renewed case for local processing. West Africa today supplies the bulk of RCM to the world, and however, local processing lags far behind the production of cashew. As we know, the two major processing countries in the world are in Asia, and we are seeing today once again how localized problems in any of these two countries causes a huge ripple effect right up to West Africa, and really disturbs the whole supply chain right to the source. Local processing has been a topic of animated discussion, I think, at almost every meeting, every conference, a lot of government seminars and things like that. But for some reason or the other, we are not able to make a big progress in this direction. I think seeing this dire situation last year, we need to really give a renewed push to local processing. IVC seems to be doing quite well. We need to see how the other countries, specific to us, how Guinea-Bissau, can really move forward on processing. Coming to season 2023, all the indications are positive so far. Weather reports are positive, crop reports are positive. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we started seeing the women in the market selling cashew apples, nice, tasty, juicy cashew apples. So it looks like the season might be 2 weeks in advance. It looks like we're heading for a bumper crop. Maybe we will cross 200,000 tons this year. And it looks like the quality will be quite good. So far, the indications are very positive. Fruiting, incidentally, has started in the Bulama region first, which is as usual, and it will be spreading into the other parts of the country shortly. Last year, about 90% of the RCM exports that went to Vietnam from Bissau went to a single party. This party just purchased about 70,000 tons, and this year is negotiating with the government to purchase 100,000 tons. So it looks like even the sale part is quite positive in Guinea-Bissau this year. Legislative elections are scheduled for the 4th of June. Usually this is considered an exciting proposition in Guinea-Bissau. But this year we think everything will proceed normally, and we should have no hiccups because of the elections. Coming to the Indian side, ASEAN prices have risen in the past few weeks, past few days I would say rather. And this is good, demand is picking up. But it is expected to be a temporary phenomenon, because I think people are waiting for new goods to arrive from Ghana and IVC, and that is when prices, there should be a market correction, and prices will go down slightly. To be kept in mind that there is a lot of carried forward stock in India, but this carried forward stock I think is mainly maybe average quality or lower quality. Hence, there is a lot of demand for fresh crop goods this year. So, friends, to sum it up, it's been a tough 2022. But then we in Africa are always die-hard optimists. So we look forward to a very positive 2023. I wish you a very good 2023 crop season, and I wish you a safe journey back home. Thank you.
So all right everyone, with this our online addresses are over. With this I hand over the session to Mr. Rajiv Kumar of Radson, who is moderating this session. I urge the panelists to continue to be seated on the sofas so that you can view all the presentations clearly, and then later for the final remarks I would invite you all to please come up on the stage. Over to Rajiv Kumar, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I hope all of you are having a wonderful conference. Today we have with us three very eminent personalities: Mr. Silot Uon, President of the Cashew Association of Cambodia; Mr. SANFO Ibrahim, President CIAB Burkina; and Mr. Mohamed Diaoune of Journal Phrase in Guinea. Now these, I suppose you can call them relatively newer origins, and it'll be interesting to see what they have to say. I would just like to mention two things which I think are of concern in the raw cashew scenario today. There has been explosive growth of the raw cashew crop over the last 30 years or so, but more so in the last 11 or 12 years. If you were listening to Mr. Harina's presentation yesterday, the world crop of raw cashew in 1990 was 500,000 tons. In the 10 years till 2000, it went up to 1 million tons. In the 10 years after that, it went up to 2 million tons. In the 11 or 12 years after that, it has gone up to almost 5 million tons. This is explosive growth, and it has happened mainly, I believe, in two regions. The last decade, the growth was in Côte d'Ivoire, where, fortunately for us, as the crop was growing, consumption was also growing in both in the Western countries as well as in emerging markets like India and China. Now, the center of growth is Cambodia, and we have to see where this excess crop which is coming into the industry is going to be marketed. The other area of concern is, last year we had a very difficult year where there was an oversupply of crop, and there is a lot of old crop still available in West Africa. Now, Mr. John Rao said that there's about 50,000 tons in Guinea-Bissau which will not be mixed in with the new crop. I really hope that is true. But we also have to worry about the old crop in other areas in West Africa and how that is going to affect the quality of the crop being shipped out this year. I'm just reminded that Anita Kontuo is also a member of the panelists, and she'll be joining us soon. So let's go on to the panelists. Are we having presentations or? Okay, so there are presentations for each of the panelists, and I'll hand it over. Okay, I now request Mr. Silot Uon to come and address us.
So today, I'm from Cambodia. Actually, my name is Silot, but everyone call me Silot Robinson. That's a good name, I think. Okay. When I arrived here earlier, I stayed in a hotel near the airport, and the receptionist asked me, "Where are you from, sir?" I said, "Cambodia." They asked me, "Where Cambodia, sir?" So, wow, I thought to myself, people doesn't know about Cambodia. That's why they also doesn't know about how big our cashew nut production in Cambodia is. So today, I will reveal it to the world about the cashew industry in Cambodia. Okay. Yes, actually, Cambodia is a very small country. You see that? And we have 700,000 hectares of farmlands. That's quite big. And you see also that in 2019, we got 600,000 metric tons. And 2020, 950,000 tons. And reached, the best point is 2021, 1.1 million tons. But unfortunately, in 2022, because of the climate change. The productivity, the yield dropping down just 670,000 tons. And hopefully that the weather's still bad in Cambodia today. So we just forecast that we can produce 500,000 to 700,000 tons only. So please, Cote d'Ivoire, don't worry. Yes, before people come up to see me, hey sir, you say Cashew Nut Association of Cambodia is grammatically wrong. I thought that, yeah, why? This is the name, why? So if I use Cambodia Cashew Nut as a Cambodia Cashew Nut Association, it's the same as CCA from Cote d'Ivoire. So now I'm right because the the acronym is CAC, not CCA. So if I use CCA, it might make people confused between Cambodian Cashew Nut Association and Cote d'Ivoire Cashew Nut Association. So I am right, CAC. So you see, probably the world doesn't know about our production. So that's quite a lot. And here, our cost per ton is also higher than the rest, I think. You see here. Yeah. The production in Africa, probably $1,200 USD per tons. But Cambodia, you see, we got more than that. Why? I don't know why. But our Vietnamese friend gave us a lot. Because of we got big nuts. And also the Tokyo University of Japan, they took some sample from Cambodia and conduct a study on Cambodian cashew nut, and they show that Cambodian cashew nut is rich in nutrient. The flavor is very nice. Especially Cambodian cashew nut has a kind of omega-3 called oleic acid, 29% higher than the rest of the world. I'm sorry, I don't know about that. This is the study from university. I'm not the university person, yeah? So, yeah, I just... right. So, mostly Cambodian cashew nut, people sell them wet to the border, and the merchant from the border, they dry the nut to supply the factory in Vietnam. Yeah. But all Cambodian to Vietnam are all raw cashew nut, yeah. Just like 2022, we import nearly 98% to Vietnam, and we keep only 2% for processing. However, in the near future, yes, CAC held, we have one kind of M23, you may know. You see that our logo has yellow and red one. The yellow one is M1, that's bigger nut. And the red one is M23. It's this kind of nut is resistant to climate change. Now we are studying about that. We do not have institute to study about cashew nut. We do not have university research about cashew nut. But we, CAC, have asked all the scholars to come up and to study the cashew nut. And I can say that all WW160, WW180 are come from Cambodia because we have a big nut. Yeah, even though it produced in Vietnam, it made in Vietnam, but the origin is from Cambodia. Yeah, okay. And yes, and we have 17 cashew nut processors nowadays, but hopefully, I think that I feel very optimistic about about the cashew processing company processing in the near future, because just like Japanese company, they try to take an eye on Cambodian cashew nut, and now they intend to create 2 big factories and also another 2 big factory for the byproduct. They want to extract the oil from the shell, and the last product they make we call industrial charcoal, yeah, So with the zero waste policy, so hopefully we are going to have more processing factory in Cambodia. Yes, this is our plan. This plan is helping the farmer, but we have done the small scale. But this one is, we want, in our dream, we want a bigger one so that we can help farmer. And we also help the local domestic processor with this warehouse. We call community warehouse. Yes, is that all for today? And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Silot, for that very entertaining and wonderful presentation. I now request Mr. Ibrahim SANFO of IAB Burkina to address us.
Ok, merci. Bonjour tout le monde. Je ferai ma présentation en français, mais permettez-moi de reconnaître la délégation du Burkina qui m'a accompagné. La délégation du Burkina, merci de vous tenir debout pour qu'on vous reconnaisse. Voilà. Merci, merci. Donc, il nous est demandé de faire un état de lieu et perspective de la production au niveau du Burkina Faso. Je suis SANFO Ibrahim, le président du comité interprofessionnel de l'ANACAD du Burkina. Et comme plan de présentation, voilà, je vais vous dire, je vais vous présenter le Burkina. Nous allons parler de la production au Burkina, de la transformation, de la commercialisation et les potentialités de la filière ANACAD du Burkina, ainsi que quelques perspectives. Il faut dire que Burkina Faso est un pays qui est situé au cœur de l'Afrique de l'Ouest. C'est un pays enclavé. Et il est entouré par le Mali, le Niger, le Bénin, le Togo, le Ghana et la... Au Burkina, nous avons 13 régions. Et si ces 13 régions, c'est 6 régions qui font l'ANACAD, donc on dit zone de production. Ce sont les régions des hauts bassins, des cascades, du sud-ouest, du centre-ouest, beaucoup du Moun et de l'est. La production en noix brute au Burkina Faso, il faut dire que, à l'instar des autres pays, le Burkina n'est pas en marche. La production est en croissance. Et nous sommes passés de 120 000 tonnes en 2020 à 200 000 tonnes en 2022 et on espère toujours continuer avec cette même croissance et selon nos estimations en 2023 nous devons être autour de 220 000 tonnes. Au Burkina, dans le maillon production, nous avons plus de 420 coopératives de producteurs qui emploie 45 000 ménages avec 17 000 membres individuels. Et la pluviométrie, elle est bonne. Le déroulement normal de la phase de floraison. Le début de la cueillette a déjà commencé dans les nouvelles et les anciennes zones de production. Sur la transformation, il faut dire qu'avec l'installation de 5 nouvelles unités de transformation, nous sommes passés de 20 à 25 unités de transformation, avec une quantité transformée en 2022 de 25 000 tonnes, et nous avons pour objectif en 2023 d'aller à 30 000 tonnes. Donc depuis lors, pour mémoire, on dit que on avait un taux de transformation de 10%. L'objectif en 2023, c'est d'aller au moins à 30 à 40%. Le marché pour nos amandes, c'est la Tunisie, les États-Unis d'Amérique, l'Europe ainsi que l'Asie. En ce qui concerne la commercialisation, il nous avait été demandé de faire le point sur la campagne écoulée. La campagne écoulée, à la date du 26 février, nous avons lancé notre campagne avec un prix plancher de 330 francs le kilo et prix bord champ, le prix qui était pratiqué tout au long de la campagne en ce qui concerne la noix conventionnelle oscillait autour de 375 francs CFA à 535 francs CFA. En ce qui concerne les noix biologiques, ça oscillait autour de 530 francs CFA à 575 francs CFA. En 2023, nous avons lancé notre campagne le 10 février écoulé avec un prix bord champ de 300 francs CFA le kilo. Mais les prix qui sont pratiqués bord champ aussi dans la fourchette 400 à 425 francs kilo. Le prix de commercialisation pratiqué, c'est 450 à 500 francs le kilo sur le terrain. La potentialité de la filière anacarde au Burkina Faso, il faut dire que nous avons une filière organisée. L'organisation a commencé depuis 2013, organisée autour des acteurs directs, et à savoir l'Union nationale des producteurs d'anacarde qui a été créée en 2013, l'Association nationale des transformateurs d'anacarde en 2012 et l'Union nationale des commerçants et exportateurs d'anacarde du Burkina qui a été créée en 2016, qui forme le comité interprofessionnel de l'anacarde du Burkina, représentant ainsi la famille d'acteurs directs. Nous avons aussi l'implication du gouvernement parce que depuis un certain temps, la filière anacarde est citée parmi les filières stratégiques du gouvernement. Pour cela, nous avons 3 ministères clés, c'est-à-dire le ministère de l'Agriculture, le ministère du Commerce et de l'Environnement, qui jouent un rôle d'appui conseil et de formation. Et nous avons aussi la recherche à travers l'Institut de l'Environnement et des Recherches Agricoles, INERA, qui fait la recherche et la formation pour le développement des cultures agricoles, leur cheval de bataille. Nous avons aussi le Centre national des semences forestières qui pour la mise à disposition des semences améliorées. Je ne pourrais terminer sans parler du Conseil burkinabé de l'anacarde, qui est une autorité de régulation qui régule le marché et qui appuie les différents fêtières de la filière anacarde au Burkina Faso. Nous avons aussi les partenaires clés qui travaillent avec nous pour pouvoir hisser le niveau de la filière plus haut. Et je cite Pro Cashew, Move, GIZ, Faitement Sport, CIR, le cadre intégré et renforcé, CELPEL Africa et la SNV. Bon, en ce qui concerne les potentialités de la filière anacarde au Burkina, nous avons quelques mesures incitatives. Parlant de la transformation, nous sommes en train de... On dit quand c'est bon ailleurs, il faut plus réfléchir, il faut essayer de copier. Nous sommes en train de vouloir implémenter la question de la subvention et nous sommes en train de vouloir aussi donner des crédits à des taux bonifiés aux transformateurs. Et nous avons révisé récemment le coût des investissements pour rendre ça plus attrayant. Ici, on parle du rabattement et l'exonération fiscale à l'investissement et à l'exploitation, le renforcement des capacités techniques et professionnelles aussi des transformateurs. Là-bas, on a un projet qu'on vient de... Nous sommes là-dessus pour la mise en œuvre et ce projet est intitulé la mise à niveau des unités de transformation. Donc, les 25 unités qui existent déjà au Burkina, nous sommes en train de voir comment les accompagner, comment les permettre de suivre la technologie et bien sûr à travers le Conseil burkinabé de l'anacarde. En ce qui concerne la commercialisation, à travers nos institutions de financement, on octroie des crédits à un taux bonifié, et la régulation du marché, la réglementation et le contrôle, mais aussi le renforcement des capacités des professionnels de ces acteurs. La noix du Burkina aujourd'hui la qualité a nettement amélioré. Quand on participait pour une première fois à World Cashew en 2018. Le Burkina, la qualité tournait autour des 44. Aujourd'hui, avec l'accompagnement de tous ses partenaires techniques et financiers, nous pouvons dire que notre KOR a nettement amélioré et nous avons une moyenne de 48. Et aujourd'hui, le Burkina est leader dans la production de noix biologiques. Et quand on parle de Burkina, il faut surtout penser noix biologiques. Nous sommes plus compétitifs. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes leaders dans cette production. Et nous avons aussi des acteurs professionnels qui sont expérimentés et qui sont dignes de confiance. Je le disais, la qualité moyenne au Burkina aujourd'hui, aussi autour de 48. Nous savons que ce n'est pas la meilleure qualité. Il faut encore travailler plus, comme Cambodge, avoir une qualité de plus de 52. Et nous sommes là-dessus. La quantité destinée à l'exportation en 2023, c'est une erreur. On a mis des 100 000 tonnes, mais je vous dis qu'il faut déduire nos 30 000 tonnes que nous devons transformer, parce que c'est ce qui est important. Le prix de la commercialisation, bon, est un peu intéressant pour nous. 500 francs CFA les kilos. Quelques perspectives. Comme je le disais, nous savons qu'il y a encore beaucoup de choses à faire dans la chaîne des valeurs. Quand je prends par exemple la production, nous allons continuer avec la recherche et vulgariser le matériel végétal pour, à haut rendement. Nous allons aussi travailler à renforcer la capacité des producteurs sur les bonnes pratiques pré- et post-récolte. Nous allons toujours travailler à maintenir notre position de leader dans la production biologique et nous allons continuer à sensibiliser les producteurs sur la nécessité du respect des bonnes pratiques agricoles. Les perspectives pour la transformation au Burkina, c'est toujours travailler à accroître le taux de la transformation locale, développer aussi les marchés locaux de consommation d'amandes de cajou. On a compris que ça marche très bien ailleurs parce que la consommation locale, on a fait la promotion de la consommation locale, notre cheval de bataille, et nous envisageons emboîter aussi ces pas. Réduire considérablement les coûts de transformation, parce que jusque-là, les produits dérivés au Burkina ne sont pas mis en valeur et nous allons beaucoup travailler sur cet aspect-là. Et nous allons continuer à faire un plaidoyer pour une subvention des produits transformés. Je le disais, en Côte d'Ivoire, ça s'est fait. On a vu que à moins de 2 ans, la Côte d'Ivoire a quitté le cap de 10 à 50% du taux de transformation. Donc, nous allons venir à votre école. Bon, quelques perspectives pour la commercialisation. C'est là pour nous de promouvoir la mise en place d'infrastructures de stockage modernes, réglementer et réguler le marché de la commercialisation, parce que jusque-là, avec le Conseil burkinabé de l'ANACAD, nous sommes en train de travailler pour réguler quand même le marché et pour sécuriser les différents investissements. Mettre en place un système d'information du marché, harmoniser, vulgariser et réaliser des instruments de mesure adéquats. Parce qu'au Burkina, nous avons plusieurs instruments de mesure dans la commercialisation. Pour nous, c'est d'identifier bascule comme étant l'instrument indiqué. En ce qui concerne le financement, ici on en parle moins parce que je ne sais pas pourquoi à World Cashew on en parle moins. Vous savez, la chaîne des valeurs ne peut pas atteindre les résultats escomptés tant que ce volet n'est pas bien maîtrisé et n'est pas bien traité. Donc pour nous, il sera question d'œuvrer pour la création de produits financiers adaptés aux activités de chaque acteur de la filière, de créer aussi un fonds de garantie pour le financement des acteurs de la filière œuvrer pour l'accès au financement à des faibles taux d'intérêt et à des conditions souples. Nous allons continuer à plaider pour des politiques incitatives à l'investissement dans la filière anacarde. Donc, sur ce, je vous dis merci et je profite de dire merci à World Cashew de nous avoir invités à cette session. Mais en tant que francophone, je m'en voudrais de ne pas descendre ici sans dire à World Cashew que on n'a pas un traitement juste. Voilà, donc quand on invite les francophones, il faut aussi les associer. Merci, merci.
Thank you, Mr. SANFO, for updating us on the situation in Burkina Faso.
And now request Mr. Jerry to speak to us about the situation in Guinea.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mohamed Diaoune. I'm the president of Interprofession of Cashew of Guinea. I'm also a member of GEPA, that is already well known in the cashew market of Ivory Coast. I'm also the president of Diaoune Fred, that is based in Hong Kong, Guinea, and Ivory Coast. Today, I want to present you the situation of Guinea Conakry, because sometimes people confuse when you say Guinea. Most people think about Guinea-Bissau because they produce more cashew than Guinea. But Guinea is a very fast growing production of cashew nuts. As you can see here, Guinea is a very growing supply of RCN. It has two main production areas, because we are sitting in the border between Ivory Coast, Bissau, Mali, and Senegal. This gives us the opportunity to produce the quality of many origins in one country. The Kankan area that is close to Ivory Coast, the production there is around 80,000 metric ton. The shell color is green and light. The quality is similar to Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso. The color of the kernel is very white. The outtone at the beginning of the season is between 45 and 47 lbs. The nut size is round, around 190 to 200 nuts. The nuts are very uniform. This makes Guinea cashew very likable with the Indian processors and Vietnamese processors because of the uniformity of the nuts. On the other side, we have a bouquet that is near Bissau area that has a production of around 70,000 metric tons. The shell color is also green. Quality of the first crop is being for 49 and 50 lbs. The nut size is between 180 and 210, depending on the area. As you can see here, the Kankan production area has many villages that produce the cashew: Kankan, Manjana, Sigiri, Kurusa, Kirawani, Dabola, Dingrai, and Farana. And the beauty here, you can see the border with Ivory Coast. So if you are a fan of Ivory Coast cashew nuts, you can also collect it from Guinea near this border. Because Ivory Coast has always been our model. We are doing a lot of structuring of the cashew field in Guinea. A lot of organizations are undergoing to be able to improve the quality of Guinea cashew. The other area is the bouquet side. So if you are a fan of Bissau cashew that is well known with our Indian processors, you can also source that out of Guinea. And the transit time is quite good. And the difference between the bouquet origin and Bissau origin the nuts are much bigger. In some areas, you can get up to 160, 170 nuts. So Vietnamese processors really like this origin as well. And that area is very large. It goes all the way through the border of Senegal, as you can see here on the map. Yeah, you can see here the pictures of the nuts of bouquet. They are very, very nice, very big nuts, and um, very uniform. So we encourage the Vietnamese processors and Indian processors to start looking at Guinea because it's not very well known by most of the processors. And the Guinea government is now very, very involved in trying to organize the cashew sector to improve the quality. And we are doing a lot of work with our partners in Ivory Coast to try to understand the different mechanisms that they have put in place in terms of incentives for local transformation and so on. The processing capacity of Guinea is still very low, is around less than 10%, but we are building, there's one big factory there that is processing around 10,000 tons, and the second one is going to start processing this 2023 that will also process around 10,000 tons. So the cashew kernel of Guinea will be very suitable for Europe markets and Turkey markets because of the proximity and the short transit time. So this is what I wanted to present to you. Last, for the focus, what we have been doing in 2020, 2021, and 2022, these are our export numbers: 35,000 to Vietnam, 25,000 to India, 10,000 to other origins, destinations. And 2021, we exported around 130,000. And 2022, we exported around 150,000. And the forecast for the 2023 will be around 200,000 tons that will be exported. For the expansion plan in Guinea, the government of Guinea is implementing many incentive measures to increase production. Farmers are being offered free seeds and fertilizers. More than 400,000 hectares made available in production areas. Government entities are being created to accelerate the support of farmers. The training sessions are being organized to improve the production and quality. All these things are happening now in Guinea. The processing capacity will increase, the production will increase as well. And as a proof of the commitment of the Guinea government, we have a big delegation of Guinea here. There's the deputy director of Agipex that is promoting the export of Guinea products. Please, Madam, and the Guinea delegation, so that you can see how we are interested in the cashew sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diaoune, for updating us on the situation in Guinea. Do we have Anita Kontuo here from Ascraft, Ghana? So she will update us on the crop situation in Ghana.
Good afternoon. I'm Anita from Ghana, Ascraft International CEO. World Cashew Nut is the second highest cash crop in Ghana, next after cocoa. It's produced in 6 major regions. The crop is mainly produced in Bono East, Savannah, and some parts of the Volta and Northern region. Bono East and Bono region records the highest production in Ghana. There are about 6 cashew processing factories in Ghana, which transform raw cashew nuts into finished and semi-finished products locally and foreign consumption. But unfortunately, it's only one running. And if care is not taken, that one will also collapse. 2023 raw cashew nuts records 51/52 lbs as quality in January. And the nut count is 170, with arrival moisture from farm gate of 10% before drying. In the year 2023, approximate price range for raw Ghana cashew nut is between USD 87 cents and USD $1 per kilogram. The challenges facing raw cashew kernels are high capital requirements. Since most of our factories, we had 6 factories, but most of them closed due to the high capital requirements. Lack of investors. Another challenging factor is the number of investors available for different stakeholders to acquire financial support for raw cashew is decreasing, resulting in the lower amount of produce each crop season. And competition with raw cashew nut traders. What we've realized is most farmers are ready to sell the raw cashew nuts to traders at higher price rather than selling it to the producers, since traders are ready to give good price to them. High labor costs, lack of skilled labor and mechanization. Comparing IVC Guinea-Bissau, we realized labor cost is low. People from Mali and Burkina are able to integrate in Ivory Coast because they are French-speaking countries. Cost of labor from Burkina and Mali is also cheap. Conclusion, the biggest problem facing the sector is lack of national cashew policy. In order to reform raw cashew trade and cashew kernel production in the nation, agent policy implementation on the purchase, trade and export of raw cashew nuts, among other things, must be introduced. Since raw cashew nut is the second leading cash crop after cocoa, we expect a growth of 7 to 8% this year. It is highly anticipated that the newly born Tree Crop Development Authority will indeed champion the cause to change the fortunes of raw cashew nuts. This is review of 2022 top Ghanaian exporters. That is 6 of them. We have Ashraf International. We did 570 20 feet and 1,530 240 feet. Top countries we send, India is first, followed by Vietnam and China. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anita, for updating us on the situation in Ghana. I now request all our panelists to come onto the stage for the Q&A session. So let me just sum up what we heard today from our panelists. Mr. Hubbali from India said the Indian crop is steady at around 700 to 750,000 tons. Mr. John Rao said the Guinea-Bissau crop last year was about 180,000 tons. There's about 50,000 tons of old crop left in Bissau, which he says will not be mixed in with this year's crop. And he mentioned about the difficulties that Guinea-Bissau shippers faced last year. Mr. Silot Uon from Cambodia said the crop had dropped from 1.1 million tons in 2021 to 670,000 tons last year due to adverse climate conditions. 98% of the crop is exported to Vietnam. And he mentioned Cambodia crop is relatively high priced due to the large size of the nuts. And Mr. Ibrahim SANFO said that the crop in Burkina was 200,000 in 22, and he expects it to be about 220,000 this year. And out of that, about 25 to 30,000 tons is processed in the country. Mr. Diaoune of Guinea said the crop was about 150,000 last year, and I think that the growth there is pretty rapid because it was 70,000 the year before that, and he's expecting about 200,000 this year. Ms. Anita of Ghana, of Ascraf Ghana, said that the Ghanaian crop is around 85,000 tons. The crop is kind of steady due to a lack of a coherent national policy to improve cashew crop there. And she said there are 7 factories processing there, and 6. Okay, and how much volume would they be doing? Do you know? Only 1 is running. Okay, so not very significant. Okay. So before I throw the questions open to the audience, I just like to ask. Mr. John Rao said that about 50,000 tons, which is about 30% of last year's crop, is still in Guinea-Bissau unshipped. What would you estimate in your countries? What would be the remainder of the crop from last year?
Ok. En ce qui concerne la production de 2022, je dirais que au Burkina, on a pu écouler pratiquement 90% de la production. Et les noix qui restent, je ne dirais pas que ça ne reste pas, mais ce sont des noix que nous avons déjà triées. Voilà, donc c'est à détruire. Ce n'est pas pour commercialiser. Donc aujourd'hui, on peut dire que au Burkina, il n'y a pas d'anciennes noix concernant la production 2022. I try to say in English. I said that for 2022 crops in Burkina, we sell all. There is no old crops. Thank you.
For Cambodia, we have no old crop either, because we sell out to Vietnam, and also we have some 17 processor. Now the we have cashew nut, national cashew nut policy, which give lots of incentive to the local or domestic processor. We have 2 processor coming here today, and hopefully we will cooperate with Japanese as well as the Chinese company. So we might be try to compete ourselves and to make more processing factory in Cambodia. And especially I would like to tell you that because of the climate change, Cambodian farmer was introduced a new method of farming, because climate change and high cost of fuel and high cost of chemical fertilizer, and Cambodia cannot produce fertilizer ourselves, so we have to import all expensive fertilizer from the other country. That's why we help farmer to produce such thing that's called organic thing. And we also use M23 that I told you earlier, that is resistant to the climate change, and we use our organic thing so that's amazing. So I think that in the near future we can keep our production from 500,000 tons to 1 million tons if the climate favorable for all of us. And hopefully in the next 5 years, we hope that we will have more processing factory in Cambodia, so that we can we don't want to give all the burden to Vietnam, because Vietnam might be very tired of buying Cambodian cashew nuts. So we have to produce ourselves to help Vietnam. We are our friends. Thank you.
In Ghana, we have no issue with excess crop. The only issue we have is other neighboring countries trying to pass off their crop as Ghana crop. We have Burkina, Mali, and Ivory Coast trying to bring in their crop to pass as Ghanaian crop. But with Ghana, we've exported everything. Thank you.
Yeah, Guinea has known a very difficult season this year because of the drop of the price. But thanks to our Indian friends, when the price was at the lowest level, they bought all the old crop. I can say that we will not have any issue with old crop being mixed with the new one this year in Guinea.
Thank you. That's reasonably encouraging news. I'd like to throw the floor open to throw the mic open to the floor. Anybody has questions for our eminent panelists? Please go ahead and ask your questions. Mr. Silot, you said that the crop had dropped from 1.1 million to about 650,000? Yes. That's a very severe drop. Was there some major climate change which happened, or?
Actually, last year we got some problem because You know, M23 cover only 40% of the farmland. So all the other variety was destroyed by the climate change. For example, frequent rains cause lots of damages on flower and nut quality is very poor. Fortunately, we have M23 that is resistant to the climate change, so that's why we can collect nearly 670,000 tons a year. So now we notice that M23 is good now in terms of climate change. So we ask our farmer to grow more M23 to supply to the world. Yeah.
If there are no further questions, we can wind up the session.
Well, all right. A big thank you to the entire panel. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to give a final round of applause of this conference to this panel? Very beautifully done by Mr. Rajiv Kumar, sir. Could we please have the mementos up on the stage for all of our speakers? Starting with, I would request Mr. Rajiv Kumar to kindly present a memento to our first speaker this afternoon, Mr. Silot Robinson from Cambodia. And when Mr. Silot Robinson walked up, he said that I was checking into the hotel and they asked me on reception, sir, where is Cambodia? So I want to tell you something, I love Cambodia. And people who love the past know Cambodia from big temples like Angkor Wat. People who are looking into the future will look towards Cambodia for the cashews. So from Angkor Wat to big nuts, Cambodia is the future. So let's hear it for Mr. Silot. And inviting up next, Mr. SANFO Ibrahim. Thank you for your presentation, sir. Mr. Mohamed Diaoune. And looking like an absolute queen from Ghana today morning, Miss Anita Kontuo. So ladies and gentlemen, quickly after this, we shall have the closing remarks for the conference. Of course, as you're all aware, the lunch is already served. I would still request all of you to make use of the stage to click any pictures that you wish. I'd like to now invite on stage Miss Rita Waitingal ma'am to please present a memento to our moderator, Mr. Rajiv Kumar. All right, everyone, let's close up for a group picture. Well, thank you everyone, and thank you for your time on the stage.